So, it's finally happening. Roll the intro.
Come get some.
Duke Nukem, one of the most mature, deep, and thought-provoking games ever made by another human being. If you don't know anything about Duke 3D, this is satire, just so you know. This is a game that's been sitting in my backlog for such a long time, and whilst I've played bits of it here and there to get footage for other videos, I've never really played all too much of it. So what is Duke Nukem 3D? Duke 3D is a first-person shooter, obviously, and it was developed by a company called 3D Realms. The game took a year and a half to develop and it was released in January of 1996. And that year gave Duke quite a bit of competition too, with very heavy hitting releases such as Resident Evil, Tomb Raider, and of course most importantly of all, Quake, releasing in the same year.
I ain't afraid of no Quake.
Duke Nukem had been around before, but if you ask most people about Duke Nukem, they'll probably think of Duke 3D, as opposed to the 2D platformer versions of Duke. Oh, and a quick note by the way, the band Megadeth, responsible for these two absolutely incredible albums, also did a cover of the Duke Nukem theme tune. I'm not going to play it for you though, because I don't want to get copyright claimed. But yeah, Duke 3D is a much shorter game than other games that I've covered on this channel, such as Blood and Doom. So let's stop wasting time and get right into it.
Bastards are gonna pay for shooting up my ride.
As we start, Duke is immediately unhappy as the aliens shop his ride. This level is pretty much entirely cinema, hence the name Hollywood Holocaust. And it introduces a few new things to us. Firstly, our starting weapon, which is the pistol, which somehow in one of these games is the first one that I've come across that remains relevant till the late game. However, we do also find the shotgun here, and it's much better than the pistol. It is also possible to find the RPG too, which is a great weapon, and I really regret not using it more throughout the game's campaign.
Your face, your ass, what's the difference?
In terms of enemies, we get introduced to Bebop, who is unfortunately without Rocksteady on this one. Oh, and we've also got this dude who is the most basic enemy in the game, however he is actually kind of interesting. There's three different types of him. There's a normal one that flies around, and one that teleports, with the flying one being the most annoying one. Well, it rhymed. I should become a rapper like, alright stop, collaborate and listen, Ice is back with a brand new invention. But yeah, Duke battles his way through the cinema, tries his hardest to get me demonetized by starting up the movie, doesn't have time to play with himself.
Don't have time to play with myself.
Checks himself out in the mirror.
Damn, I'm looking good.
And gives Bebop a very hard time on his quest to find Rocksteady.
Come get
But once all that is said and done, we move on to Red Light District starts us off in, what do you know, a room full of red light. Oh, and Bebop is back for revenge, and this time he's flying around in a small little spaceship. As you can imagine, that did not last very long. As we progress through this comic book shop, I then found out how dark this game can get once I went through this door. This is most likely so that the night vision ability isn't completely useless like it is in, say, Doom, but I still think it's a bit much. Oh, I also found a chain gun cannon, which is the weirdest name ever. Chain gun cannon. Why not just call it a chain cannon or a chain gun? And it was just in time though, because the aliens put up this big sign saying Duke Nukem must die, and I wasn't too big a fan of that. We soon come to one of the best parts of this level as well, which is the bit where we get to blow up an entire building. Step aside Battlefield 4, Duke Nukem has you beat here. And for a game in 1996, this actually looks really cool, and it highlights how good the build engine's explosions look, which is something I mentioned in my Blood video. After this, we get a keycard and move down into the sewers. Once we passed that though, we made our way into a not so child friendly area, in which I got lost and also ran out of all my ammo, which led to me looking up a guide and also having to use the pipe bomb to kill everything. I literally had a blast fighting these enemies. Eventually, however, I found my way out and it brought me to In this level we start off in an electric chair, which I didn't actually realise killed me until it was too late. This is the most I died in the game, mostly because it takes away all your weapons and most of your health as soon as you get off this electric chair. I mean, there is health pickups right next to you, but Bebop does a lot of damage when he hits you with the shotgun, so yeah. Due to my lack of weapons, I had to resort to kicking Bebop to death until I managed to get a pistol in this safe. And I also found the shotgun pretty quickly after too. As I made my way through the prison, I eventually got to this room, which was pretty, religious until it got spooky. I don't know, someone summoned the devil or something. It is nearly Halloween after all. Soon after I made my way through the prison, got to these laser bits, until I got to this big room that required me to go on a keycard hunt, which I then did and got lost, again. Eventually ending up on this alien submarine. I tried to blow this thing up using the pipe bomb, but it didn't work, so I just ended the level and moved on to...
Those alien maggots booby-trapped the sub.
Yep, Duke, you're right, but you're gonna spend about a minute in the submarine, so you're alright. I'm not gonna lie, this level had me kinda lost for pretty much most of this main area. I just couldn't figure out where I needed to go, and when I eventually did after I got shrunk to the size of Kevin Hart, it took me forever to get through this vent without dying. We did get picked up by the Claw, which was pretty fun. After we got past this less than fun bit, we did return back to the fun, with us fighting through this underwater segment, which I thought was really cool, eventually leading us to whatever this place is meant to be, and then to the end of the level, which only leaves us with...
Groovy.
Welcome to the Abyss, the final episode in Welcome to the Abyss, the final level in the first episode. After we exit the sewer, we come to the abyss. Oh, and we also blow up these cliffs, which is really cool. Not as cool as when we blew up the building though, that was much cooler.
Holy shit.
But yeah, this video has us using the environment boots to go through some hazardous environments. We eventually make it out of that area into an area that looked like it would be better suited to a game like Blood. After solving some puzzles and making our way through some lava again, we find ourselves at our first boss fight of this game. This guy is called the Battle Lord Sentry, and he is absolutely awesome. His design looks so cool, he looks ripped right out of a metal album cover. However, he isn't the hardest boss of all time, and he can be easily put down by spamming him with the rocket launcher. He didn't like that too much though, and it ended up with me being very surprised that there was an actual cutscene in a 90s FPS game.
I'm Duke Nukem, and I'm coming to get the rest of you alien bastards.
Even if it's a few seconds long, I think it's still a really cool inclusion. Once Duke is done killing that guy, he then goes and explores the ship a bit more and finds out why the aliens are really on Earth. And get ready for this, because this might be the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard. They are on Earth to steal our women. Duke's final words in this episode is, "No one steals our chicks and lives." I'm not joking. But yeah, if you're interested in seeing more games that are similar to Duke Nukem, such as say Blood, then you can watch my video on Blood, appearing right here.